What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Luxor Droids favorite nerd, Sandtrooper. Look, I do 3 skits a week, alright? They're not all going to be winners. I thought it was pretty good. Anyway, it's your favorite Luxor Droids favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Bandai Samurai Star Wars line Sandtrooper, and this once again is on loan to me from Chris, and I can't thank that dude enough. He got it in and didn't even tell me he was on his way. Just got it in and shipped it right to me. It just came as a surprise in the door, like a well-oiled machine now. So I definitely want to tell that dude how much I appreciate it, and wish I could return the love somehow. But either way, we're going to take a look at this guy today. He comes with a fair amount of accessories. We'll get into those first. One of which is the kind of signature Sandtrooper backpack. Lots of like tech detailing and stuff, like all the little coils and like different pieces connected to the metal wiring there, and a lot goes into this. It looks like you got a wash on there, and I can't even tell. I think it's like a rust effect that they've put like on the sidelines of the details, which is pretty cool. Probably could have used some accents, just being honest. Like, if they would have gone over top of this with the silver, like in some places, and then gone on top of that with a black wash just to differentiate the different pieces on there, would have been nice. But as it is, still a pretty cool accessory. He's got this open port in his back, and this just plugs directly in. And that's a kind of a thin peg, so that makes me a little nervous. But then you're good to go there. Of course, he comes with the second Samurai Sward, and this is, we've seen, I think this is the same one, without having the other one in hand, it's hard to say, but silver paint, once again, brown paint that looks washed to me, and then this white, this like has a black wash on it to kind of give it the details and the wrappings of it, which is pretty cool, and then the little sheath, and you can slide that unit in, and then slide this in here, which creates a second little weapon. Now this, I thought on the other one was a separate little like dagger, but maybe I'm wrong there. And then a slew of hands, a trigger hand. Actually, they're definitely trigger hands, or they're holding hands. Yeah, they're holding hands. And then 2 trigger hands here, left and right. And he comes with 2 guns, which we'll just see if he can hold this well. I would imagine he can. But I don't want to put... Yeah. So there's one. And that's pretty cool. The rifle itself, I love how it's like this huge like cannon of a firearm, because the Sandtroopers, they had a larger cannon, which is cool. It's just a nice little nod. And then the same little like firing hammer articulates. It is on a small pin. It will pop out, but still fairly cool nonetheless. We're just going to put that down so it doesn't break. And then the silver's got a wash on it, and the brown is just a solid brown plastic from what it appears to me. The hand detailings are all the same. This is a good way to show you. But you got, it looks like a dry brush type of effect. It might be a wash on the fingers, and then a wash on the armor, which is all sculpted and molded. So pretty good. And we'll use this other hand to show off him holding this gun. So this one, I think you would probably just want to slide in here. And that worries me a little bit there. And once again, he holds this very well. Same sort of detailings there. It's kind of identical in terms of its detailings, but the sculpt is different. Once again, the hammer does articulate. You want to watch in terms of how close you have the thumb to the hammer so you don't cause any breakage to the small pieces, but still very cool. Silver paint on the metal, and then the wash over top, so same sort of detailings. And then we have the 2 holding hands. These would be used to hold the rifle, in a pose, and this one works really well on that one. And let's see if this one I'm not sure about. This is a huge unit, so to speak. Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do with this. but I might be wrong. I'll look further into it, but yeah.
And then you have 2 holding hands. This would be for his sword, which we've kind of looked at how well that works in the past, so we know that that's good to go. But I'll probably show in a picture there towards the end just to prove it. So let's talk about this guy. I think the head is identical. Once again, it's hard to say exactly, but I don't know. So let's talk about it. I do think there are some reused parts here, and from the Stormtrooper. But we'll talk about how I feel about that in the end. If it is reused, I think that all the shading is different, because it does have like a brown like wash on most of it, which makes it look, sand derived. So I think at least it's not just business as usual, but I could be wrong. So the head is on is it a double ball peg? Yes, double ball peg from the head into the torso, I think. Hard to tell without taking the head off, and I'm not comfortable with that. But all the sculpting around the eyes, all the detailings in the helmet, that's all sculpted and then washed to give you the layers and depth. Same around like the helmet lines there, and that's a wash, and that's not applied to the whole piece. That's something you don't see very often, but I've seen with this line a lot, where they've done like a wash line around the armor, so it's a thin paint, but it adds the depth, and it's not covering the whole piece like a legend would, and even a Play Arts Kai figure. To be fair, usually when they wash something, they wash the whole thing. So range wise, you get down to there, back to there, and then this little chin flap is on its own independent hinged system, so that you can get it out of the way for the armor. Now these strings that tie the armor to the front and back are painted with like a pink, like a reddish pink paint, and it looks good. And then you have this sculpting on the chest, which we've talked about before. That's a little strange. Reminds us of a certain young lady. Great Guga Muga. But overall, I think it still works. And it's I don't know. It's definitely distracting, but I think when you're looking at it this close and trying to really focus on the figure, but I think on a shelf where he's posed, it's not like you would look at it and be like, dude, what's up with the guy with all the boobs? So anyway, there all you have the same type of wash effect underneath each layer here, and that's obviously supposed to be chest and then ribs, but it just ends up looking like what it looks like. But then like a dog. But then there's like a paint mishap there, which I'm not used to seeing with this line, but I am going to point that out. So getting to the shoulders, I love that they did one, orange one or whatever, like the Sandtroopers. Kind of roll. That is on its own ball peg, which helps with articulation. You can get the arm, which is on a ball peg, into the torso, and then a ball hinge out to the arm. You can get it up to there. Maybe, yeah, that's about it, but that's pretty good. And then around, no problem. Out to the side is no problem at all. And then the ball peg into the chest allows for a bit of a butterfly joint across the chest. So that's all done pretty well. Then you have the no bicep. Oh, you do the bicep swivel. It's right at the shoulder. It's very tight though, and I'm not comfortable doing it. Probably some hot water or blow dryer probably let that up, but I'm not going to mess with that too much. And then a double hinged elbow, getting you pretty much the full Monty. And then all the detailings on this is all done the same with that brown wash, and then the silver is painted, and all the detailings are sculpted and molded. The wrist is on a ball peg. Once again, I would like to see those done in die cast. I know that's a lot to ask for, but those little ball pegs do make me very nervous. The wrist swivels obviously on the ball peg, and then the hinge goes up and down, and then you can probably rotate the hinge. Yes, you can. It's just hard to do. And then, just to give you an idea, you can get back and forth, and then you can turn around and get in and out, or up and down rather. All right, so to speak. Articulation is the same for the other side, but you have this extra black piece sculpted and molded there. Actually, it's a separate piece that's pegged in to the shoulder. And then this bit here, all the articulation is the same. The hand, we have a fist hand, and it comes with another fist hand. I took it off for a picture, but that's that. The back, we'll be mindful of this. We're just going to spin it. It has these like sculpted, kind of like rib cage effect on the back. I think it looks cool. And then this piece here is silver, and then washed, and then all the rope is painted and washed, and this little bit is sculpted on, the blade is sculpted inside, and then the holster is an extra piece that's pegged in. Obviously that's an accessory. So let's do the waist. It's a ball peg. It's a might be a double ball joint. Anyway, that's a pretty good diaphragm joint. It works really well, given the bulk of the figure. I don't remember the Stormtrooper one working this well, but it does. I see, because it's a hinge. It's a hinge on a ball peg. I gotcha. But if you're not careful when you're posing it, you do get a lot of gapping on this one. I don't remember that one with the Stormtrooper. I think the Stormtrooper had less articulation in the waist, but it didn't have the gaps. So that's something to be mindful of. I think once you get them posed, you'd be all right, but you know that is fairly unsightly. All right, moving down. Floating piece of plastic here, and it's a softer plastic, and there's like all these flaps and stuff. They're all painted, sculpted, washed, as we've come to expect, so they're all done pretty well. And then at the bottom we have T-jointed ball joints that get you out to here. I don't think that they're drop down. No, it doesn't appear to be. Get you out to here. Oop. Sorry there, Chris. Forward to about there before it wants to pop off the ball joint, as we just saw. Real time. And then the thigh swivel is on the ball joint, and I think it's anatomically correct. It's not much of an articulation, but I think it will do. And then this piece is another soft piece of plastic that is attached to the thigh itself. Adds for layer, adds for depth, all that stuff looks good. I love the pants sculpting per usual. I think the knees are done pretty well. They're double jointed, getting you a pretty great range. Coming down to all this detailing, I love that they have this little piece here, and it's different on that one. It's very accurate to the Stormtrooper design. I dig that. Not sure if the Stormtrooper was like that. Not sure if I pointed that out, but I'm definitely doing it now. These boots are all sculpted, molded, and this extra piece is painted silver. This one got some of the beige paint on it. So that's a little unfortunate, but not the biggest deal in the world. Moving down to the feet, they're on... They're on a ball hinge. I'm not sure if I remember that being the same on the other one. So you get an ankle tilt up to there, back to there, and then if you turn it and get it to the side, you got your rocker. So that's all good. I don't have any complaints really with that. Not my favorite system. Very like PlayArts Kai does this system a lot too, where you have to manipulate the hinge in order to get the rocker, but it is effective. I don't have the Black Series Sandtrooper, but I wanted to put the two of these guys together just so you can see the kind of design cues that they follow through with, like the shoulder pad and the little knee pad. How that one is like the riveted bar across, and this one is like the proper over the knee pad. Like little things like that, I definitely appreciate with this line. And, you know, just because we're here, why don't we put that young lady in there too. Final thoughts wise, the only kind of issues that I have with this guy, the only complaints that I have is that I think that, first of all, this joint being too tight is problematic, but that's probably a thing where individual results will vary. This thing, like, it's cool what they were going for with this gun, and I get it, but it's really, it's impractical. It just doesn't really, there's no way for him to really hold this and get the other arm to wrap around it to look cool. Like, I think the other hand is supposed to be able to grip onto this thinner piece here, but I couldn't get it to really work. So it's a cool idea, but it doesn't quite work as an accessory. I think that this long rifle is much more kind of appropriate and cool. There is a bit of a problem getting him to hold it in a cool way. Now that's comes down to positioning a lot of times, like going across his chest, like up in the air, you know, like holding it across his chest, like at rest or something, like that works fine. But like getting him to kind of hold it in a relaxed pose across his waist, getting him to kind of get it so that he's aiming, that becomes a little bit more challenging. And it's just because of the bulk of the armor and the way that the articulation allows both hands to move around. But you know, this guy does move a lot better than a lot of the other ones that I've messed with, so I have to give it credit there as well. outside of that, that's really my only complaint, is that this accessory is a little too much, and it's hard to get him to utilize a two-handed weapon and have it look cool. I feel like you're kind of restricted in what poses you can do with it. I feel like there's only really one that it nails. Per usual, the materials are great, the paint is great, the sculpts are great, the molds are great, all the little detailings and textures and layers and depth, all that stuff is outstanding. And I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong if you have both, Chris, feel free to chime in, but I feel like that is the most dynamic pose I've ever been able to get out of any of these guys. I feel like he moves better. Am I wrong? Like, I don't know. If you have these guys, feel free to chime in, but like I feel like I couldn't pull a pose off like this with the other ones. Like, I feel like his playability is a bit better than what we've been used to. Very cool figure, very cool line. If you like the design choice, the samurai design choice, I definitely recommend it. If you're like kind of on the fence about it, I advise you to try to put your hands on one, you know, in whatever way you can, because they are quite good, and it's very alluring. It's like being in the devil's playground with these things for me, because they are very, very nice. I just I don't know. I'm still undecided on them. I think if I were to like find them at a con or something for like a crazy price or something, I'd definitely pick them up. But I would definitely recommend them if you like the design choice. They are very cool. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.